In the vast, unpredictable world of One Piece, battles are not just about strength, they're statements. Every attack carries weight beyond the physical. So today, we're diving into the 30 most disrespectful attacks. Starting with Jinbei versus Who's Who. Who's Who attempts to provoke Jinbei with mentions of sun god Nika and the dark history of slavery tied to fishmen, and that pisses him off, so he does this. Next, we have Luffy versus Enel. In one of the most electrifying battles of One Piece, we witness Luffy taking on the seemingly invincible Enel atop the formidable Arc Maxim. Next, we have Law versus Virgo. As Law confronts him, he's also confronting his past and the looming figure of Doflamingo. Law declares that defeating Virgo will dismantle Doflamingo's control over the underworld.
Darenga. 何を動かした？大物たちも仕掛けなかった。あの戦争は序章に過ぎない。
Next, we have Diamond Jozu versus Aokiji. In a bold move to stop the rampaging might of Whitebeard, Aokiji unleashes his chilling powers, attempting to encase the fearsome pirate in ice. He tries to get close enough to freeze Whitebeard at point-blank range, but the battlefield delivers another twist.
Nice. バカ言っちゃいけねえよ。親父、先任せるぞ。上手。
Next, we have Aokiji versus Doflamingo. On the chilling battleground of Punk Hazard, a confrontation unfolds. As Doflamingo stands ready to strike down Smoker, the tide of battle shifts dramatically.
あらら。そこどいてくれるか。
Next, we have the Red Hair Pirates. In the quiet village of Fuchsia, a young Luffy finds himself in trouble with a notorious mountain bandit, leading to a dire situation where Luffy's life hangs in the balance. It's the intervention of Shanks and his crew that turns the tide.
それ以上近づくと撃ち殺すぜ腰抜け。
てめえ聞こえなかったのか。頭吹き飛ばす。
そいつは脅しの道具じゃねえって言ったんだ。
Next, we have Luffy and Zoro versus Kobe and Helmeppo. The scene unfolds with Garp expressing his disappointment in Luffy's choice to become a pirate. Zoro makes a dynamic entrance, challenging the Marines. This moment disrupts Garp's lecture and sets the stage for a confrontation.
どれお前ら止めてみ。はい。はい。
Next, we have Big Mom versus Queen. One of the fearsome four emperors of the sea makes a dramatic entrance into Udon as she searches for red bean soup. Then enter Queen, the towering figure and keeper of the prison.
誰がお前におしるこなんぞくれてやるか。
Next, we have Sengoku versus Blackbeard. In the climactic moments of the Battle of Marineford, the stakes escalate as Blackbeard declares his intent to destroy everything in his path. In a moment charged with resolve, Sengoku steps forward. Next, we have Law versus Toshigi. On the enigmatic island of Punk Hazard, a confrontation unfolds, this time pitting the Trafalgar Law against the determined Marine Captain Toshigi.
あなたがその気なら
お前の覇気じゃ受けきれねえ。大佐長！大佐長が真っ二つに！
切るならば殺せ！トラファルガー！
弱えやつは死に方も選べねえ。
Next, we have Whitebeard versus Lawns. Little Oars Jr., driven by loyalty and the desire to save Ace despite being impaled by Moria, pushes forward but ultimately collapses in defeat. Giant Vice Admiral Lawns sees an opportunity to strike at Whitebeard, but he was not in the mood. Next, we have Roger versus Odin. As the Whitebeard pirates, with Odin among their ranks, land on a secluded island, they find none other than the Roger pirates awaiting. Driven by a relentless thirst for adventure, Odin dashes towards his foes, engaging them in combat. We have Blackbeard commanders in Whole Cake Island. Former Admiral Kuzan and the sharpshooter Van Augur of the Blackbeard pirates arrive in Whole Cake Island to capture Pudding, but they are confronted by Cracker. Confident in his overwhelming numbers, unleashes his biscuit soldiers, positioned from a vantage point. With each pull of the trigger, Van Augur turns the tide. Each shot is calculated to maximize damage, systematically dismantling Cracker's biscuit army. Next up, Luffy versus Crocodile. The battle kicks off as Crocodile sets a 3-minute timer. The stage is set for a brutal demonstration of disparity. Luffy's attacks, full of hope and vigor, prove futile against Crocodile's elusive sand form. As the sand timer runs out, the battle between Luffy and Crocodile reaches its harrowing conclusion. Crocodile, ever the tactician, prepares his last devastating attack, a sandstorm aimed to destroy an entire town. Luffy, enraged by Crocodile's cruelty, confronts him.
カラカラのおっさんには関係ねえだろうがこの止まれこの
無駄だ、やめとけ。湯葉は終わりだ。
止めろよ今すぐ
この俺を誰だと思ってる。てめえのような口先だけのルーキーなんざ麦わらのルフィ。
Next up, King versus the Big Mom Pirates. The battle starts with Kaido's cannons roaring as they attempt to stop Big Mom's advance. Despite the barrage, her ship, powered by her fearsome crew, breaches 7 defense lines. As her ship ascends the waterfall, the stakes escalate. Enters King, Kaido's right-hand man, who decides to take matters into his own hands.
俺が行く。ついにワノ国か。
あいつはキングか
迎撃しろ。まさか
そんな
Next, Marco versus the Big Mom Pirates. As the rest of the crew tried to make it back to rejoin with their captain, they were surprised to meet Marco at the entrance.
マルコといや、あの白ひげ海賊団の撃ち落とせ。
Next up, Zunisha versus Jack. With Zoo under siege, its very foundation, Zunisha's leg, was battered by relentless cannon fire. Amidst this chaos, Luffy and Momonosuke experience overwhelming pain, a mysterious voice echoing in their heads. Zunisha itself communicates directly with Momonosuke. The ancient creature asks for permission to defend itself, with its leg nearly collapsing under the assault.
承知した。 投げ出されました。
Next up, we have Luffy versus Bellamy. The conflict ignites over stolen treasure, but quickly deepens to something more profound. Bellamy, skeptical of Luffy's reputation and dismissive of his ambitions, embodies the cynicism that Luffy has fought against all his life.
返すも何も、あれは俺が海賊として奪ったんだ。
おっさんたちは友達だ。だから俺が奪い返すんだ。
聞くがお前、戦闘ができんのか。パンチの打ち方を知ってんのか。
間違いね
じゃあ今度は二度とその生意気な口を聞けねえようにしてやる。俺のショーはこれからが見せ場なんだからよ。ホッパー！何が黄金鏡、何が空島だ。
Next, we have Garp versus Qin Zhao. Decades ago, Qin Zhao was renowned for his unique ability to break open the hardest surfaces with his pointed head, a skill that granted him access to unimaginable riches hidden beneath a seemingly impenetrable ice continent. Fast forward to a confrontation that would change everything. Garp and Qin Zhao meet, their mutual taunts escalating into a duel.
私の頭より硬いものはない。覚悟しろ、チンジャー。
Next up, Kizaru versus the Supernovas. His entrance shifts the battle's dynamic instantly. With a demeanor as casual as it is chilling, Kizaru dares the Supernovas to confront the true horror of their situation, facing not just cyborgs, but a marine admiral of unmatched power.
わしもいると言ったはずだよ。
目が
ロンヤ系じゃなさそうだ。
ほんじゃとんずらごくぜ。あばよ。あ、なんだ。
Next, Kaido versus Luffy. The battle kicks off with Luffy unleashing a barrage of blows with his elephant Gatling gun. Despite the ferocity of the attack, Kaido remains largely unfazed.
Force!
Next, Shanks versus Green Bull. The battle begins with the 9 Red Scabbards valiantly facing off against Green Bull, but they find themselves outmatched by his devastating abilities. Shanks, the ever-watchful red-haired pirate, makes his move from afar.
Look 疲れ切った新緑たちにそりゃあちょっと野暮じゃないか。そんなに怖いか新時代が。わか
Next, we have Whitebeard versus Akainu. As Marineford burns and pirates clash with the Navy, Admiral Akainu, known for his ruthless pursuit of justice, makes a move on Whitebeard by targeting their most vulnerable point with his lethal magma powers.
大噴火巨大な氷塊が跡形もなく蒸発した。誕生ケーキにでも灯してやがれマグマ小僧。
Next, we have Rayleigh versus Marco. As the Titans of the Sea, Whitebeard and Roger engaged in their fierce battle, their crews were not far behind in showcasing their might. Amidst this tumultuous backdrop, a young Marco took on none other than Rayleigh. Next, we have Bartolomeo versus Hack. Amidst the fierce competition at the arena of the Corrida Coliseum, Bartolomeo catches the audience's attention, but not for reasons you'd expect, breaking all norms of the storied Coliseum's etiquette.
真面目に大会に臨む者もいるのだ小僧。背後を狙うが許せよ。4000枚瓦聖剣なんて。
Unfortunately for Hack, he makes it again on this list. Young Sabo found himself on Baltigo, training under Hack, not just in honing his combat skills, but also in rediscovering his innate fighting spirit that his body still remembered. Next, we have Robin versus Frankie. In a desperate attempt to push Frankie towards his destiny, his family resorts to extreme measures to get him to sail to the sea with the Straw Hats. Frankie's stubbornness, but also his unwillingness to leave his makeshift family and the city he loves, pushes Robin to step in with a solution only she could devise.
自分を押し殺して生きてきた。これからもずっとそうするのか。自分を許してやれよフランキー。もうてめえの夢に生きていいだろう。
さあ乗れよフランキー。俺の船に。
Next, Luffy versus Rob Lucci. Defying orders and advice, Lucci chooses to engage Luffy once again, reigniting a conflict that has smoldered since their explosive encounter at Eni's lobby. This time, both warriors have evolved.
手配書のあれは何だ。
気になるか。
Next, we have Mihawk versus Zoro. The duel begins with a dramatic entrance by Mihawk, the world's greatest swordsman, who decides to engage the Krieg pirates merely for amusement. Undeterred by Mihawk's formidable reputation, Zoro immediately challenges him.
なるほど、最強だ。暇なんだろう。勝負しようぜ。
哀れなり弱き者よ。この俺に刃を突き立てる勇気は己の心力か、はたまた無知なるゆえか。あいにくこれ以下の刃物は持ち合わせていないのだ。
死んで後悔すんじゃねえぞ。動かねえ。いくらなんでもこんなに遠いわけねえ。この距離はねえだろ。
Before we get to our number 1 spot, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Now let's move on to our final spot, Luffy versus Kaido. In one of the most breathtaking and pivotal battles, Luffy faces off against the fearsome Yonko Kaido in a display of raw power and awakened abilities. If you enjoyed this video, I am pretty sure you will like this one too.